All right. How is everybody doing? Oh, looks like we got a camera problem. Let me get that fixed really quick here. What is going on with the camera? All right, we got a little bit of a glitch here. The camera's not wanting to load, so give me a few minutes. I'm going to see if I can't get that figured out, and we'll be back up and running as quickly as I can. So bear with me. I'm going to play around here for a second. Yeah, so well, while I try and fix this, everybody, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit. So if you haven't tuned in before, my name is Billy. This is my stream on tech and programming. So I generally try and get on here and teach some, or go through some programming stuff. Right now, we're working on a Node.js bot. It's been pretty fun. We've got a bot running that we've been playing around with and able to get it actually working, doing some things in Twitch, doing some things in Discord. Tonight we're mostly going to focus on code management. So how do you manage your code? How do you make sure you have clean code? And how do you save your code so that you don't have to worry about, problems with your computer or your hardware? How do you back up your code, and also how do you keep your changes? So that's kind of where we're gonna work tonight. We're gonna be using GitHub a little bit. I just started the bot, so if you're in the chat room, if you want to start playing around with the bot, you can. There's a dice command, there's a greet command, there's a couple of different things that you can do. I'm having some problems here. I'm not sure what happened to my camera. It died like right as we streamed. So give me a second. I will be with you as soon as I can get the camera back up and running. All right, looks like we got the camera back up and running. I need to fix my audio properties because I lost my monitor when I fixed the camera. So give me just a second. I will get that fixed, and we'll be up and running and going live here. So I hope everybody has had a good. Oh, wait. Okay. There you go. So I hope everybody has had a good week. That's been a pretty good week for me. We've basically, I've sort of switched to a new shift recently. And that new shift has kind of thrown me for a loop somewhat because it's night shift. So I'm up at night. All right, well, this is not how I wanted to give you audio because this microphone sucks because it's a headset mic. Bear with me. I will try and see if I can't figure out what's going on with the audio. The microphone suddenly died as soon as I fixed the. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my Star Wars periodic table of the elements shirt. It's got all the Star Wars characters and ships and things like that in it. It's awesome. Thank you, Espinoza. Welcome to the chat. I am going to try and see if I can't fiddle around and get the microphone working the right way, but for the moment, we'll just go ahead and continue on. So where we were last week is we had gotten our bot running. Our bot is actually running in the chat now, so if you're in chat, if you're on Facebook, I apologize. I couldn't get into the Facebook chat. I am streaming to Facebook and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I can see your chat. If you're on Facebook, I cannot see your chat. So join us on Twitch. So twitch.tv/BillyJBryant. You can join us there. Welcome, Guy Next Door. Welcome, Cdido. We are here for some Node.js work, and tonight we're going to be working on how we get our code repo or our code in a repo so that we can preserve it. So the problem that you have with code is if you let it live on one device, if you let it live on your computer, one, you have no version history, so you have no idea what you did from one day to the next. In fact, we've done a lot of work in our code repos that we don't even know what we've done, because when I commit to the repo tonight, it'll be the first time it's been committed, and it's going to be a brand new commit history. So we're going to lose all of that history that we had over the last 3 weeks of the work that we've done to this point. So the importance of a code repo is so that you can keep your code clean, is one thing, and also so you can keep it organized and have a history of the changes. And if you want an open source package, like what I'm going to actually do tonight is I'm going to publish it. I had originally planned on publishing it in GitLab, but I am going to publish it tonight in GitHub. so that we can actually, so that you guys can actually take a look at it, and it'll be open source. Other people can commit to it. Other people can do, what they want with it, or you can fork it and make it your own. So you can steal all the work that we've done over the last 3 weeks if you want to. So that's what we're doing. So Guy Next Door, what I'm doing is I am using Restream.io. I'm not paying for Restream.io right now, but I am using Restream.io. The only caveat with the free stream is that you can only have three targets, and there's a little bit of, I think if you look in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little logo being shown on my stream right now from Restream.io. Eventually, I'll probably pay for it and get rid of it, or eventually I'll try and see if I can't get the Twitch affiliate and then drop all the other streams anyway, because once you're at Twitch affiliate, you can't stream anywhere else anyway. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is just Restream.io. There is a free plan that lets you send up to 3 targets, and you can't do anything other than like YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. You can't do any of the advanced targets like LinkedIn or the other streaming platforms. But yeah, so tonight, code repository. We're going to do some GitHub work. We're going to do some cleaning up of our code. We're going to commit. We're going to talk about how to have a good commit history. And then we'll do a little bit more coding if we have time. So that sounds like a good plan to me. And then in my break, I'll take a break in a little bit, and I'll try and fix my microphone then, because I would much rather you hear me out of the right microphone than this crappy headset, because this crappy headset I'm sure sounds horrible. I can't hear it right now, but I'm sure it sounds really, really bad. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and switch over. I also set up a really awesome system, and I really love it. Let's pull up VS Code. So I set up a really cool system which allows me to switch. It's basically, I'm on Linux, and people have Stream Decks. And Stream Decks allow you to switch back and forth. It's a nice little deck where you can have little hot buttons, hot keys for switching your panes or your scenes or things on and off in OBS. And Stream Deck does not work for Linux. I also can't afford a Stream Deck because they're friggin' $200 for the smallest one. So I have instead, I found a program called Deckboard. This is not sponsored by Deckboard, but Deckboard, it's an app that you can download. It's free for a small version, or $3.99 for the professional version. And then the Deckboard software, while it's written for Windows, will run in Wine. So I'm running Deckboard in Wine on Linux, connected to my OBS and so my smartphone is now my Stream Deck essentially, so I can actually control and should have to not deal with all the hotkey mess that you watched me deal with last week. VS Code is not wanting to show up, so let's figure that out really quickly here. Because my VS Code's not. Let's see. Oh, that's because it's not on the right setting. Let's go ahead and switch VS Code and get VS Code working. There we go. All right, so VS Code is working. So we've got code up now. Let's go ahead and get started. I also, if you don't notice, I put a Twitch chat in VS Code. So I can see you guys talking. I can also see you talking because the bot is running, so you can actually see stuff from the bot. But otherwise, I can see you talking in chat, and I'm supposed to be able to respond. I think I can respond. Yeah, look at that. I can respond in chat. Actually, I don't think that went. No, there it goes. Yeah, so there we go. I've got a nice little Twitch chat that I can talk to you guys while I'm in code. I don't even have to leave out of VS Code to see you guys. So it's awesome. It's great. I love it. Again, if you're on Facebook, you can't see all the awesomeness that everybody else can because you're not in Twitch. Come to Twitch, join me there. That is the best place to find me. I am only in the other places for getting you to join me in Twitch so that you can find me in Twitch. And that's what, yeah. So if you're on Facebook, like my boss was last week apparently, yeah, come to Twitch. Twitch is where it's at. All right, cool. So we are going to jump into this. So we have our code repository. Let's go ahead and open up a new shell because I don't want to kill the bot. I just want to keep the shell running here. So we have our code repository. We have our list of files. So we've created our bin last week, or we have a bin folder. Nothing's in the bin. We have our config folder, which our config has our actual configs for the system. I am using Nmap, which I didn't show you guys, but I will talk about it a little bit. Nmap is a way of having mapped configs. Works really well for Discord. The benefit is that with Nmap, you can actually have configs for different systems. So this is how you would, if you wanted to make your bot eventually work for multiple people, you would just use Nmap, and you can actually use Nmap to manage the settings from guild to guild or just Twitch to Twitch. So if you wanted to make your bot public, and you eventually wanted to allow other people to add your bot to their rooms, you could do that, and it would handle that by using Nmap to manage the mapping of all of the additional groups. So that's what we are using, is Nmap to manage our config. So we have our default config stuff set up here. And then I have my dev config that it's loading in here to add on top of it. So this is our dev config with our channels. Just one channel right now because I don't want the bot joining other people's Twitch. And then we have our bot admins channel in Discord. Or actually, this is the admin. So this is who can control the bot in Discord. I haven't done anything with this yet, but we'll get to that eventually. I thought it was very important to go through code management today so that you guys have an understanding of how to do that if you don't. So we got our guild that we join, and then I set up a folder for guilds later so that if I ever wanted to release this bot to the public, I could. No plans on doing that right now. Our big work was in our library folder. So if you come into our library folder, we have our commands. I built in API files. I don't plan on using those just yet, but our big work was in our commands. So we built our Discord and our Twitch. These are our Discord and our Twitch modules. So our Twitch module gets loaded by our bot to start Twitch. Our Discord module gets loaded by our bot to start Discord. So these are these two modules and how they work with our message handlers built into them. We've got our on message handler that's actually handling the message itself and doing some work before it sends it over to our commands modules. So in our commands modules, we built common commands, which are just commands that are specific, that are kind of global, work everywhere. We got our YouTube command. We got our social command. I think I built that one in. We have Discord. So if you use some of those extra commands, you'll be able to get some additional information out of the system. And then we have our Discord specific commands, which we did our greet. So we have a greet in Discord and we have a greet in Twitch. And they operate independently of each other. And we do that using our different command modules that we have kind of loaded into the system. So if you use the greet command in Twitch, it's actually a little different. It requires you to either be a channel mod or myself, or I think I did a channel mod, be a subscriber, or myself. So you have to actually be a sub, which I don't have any subs yet. Can't sub it at all yet. You have to be a mod, or you have to be me, the streamer, in order to run the Discord greet command or the Twitch greet command. And then the Discord greet command is just open to anybody, so anybody can do that. It's just open in the channel, and the commands are executed a little differently. So we built those in last week, and that's kind of where we stopped. So we got that all working, and I apologize. So the base point that we have is we have our bot built in VS Code. We have our Node, it's all Node.js, so we're using the Node environment. We have, if we look into our modules, we are using the envar variable, or we're using environment for .env files, so that we can load in our environment files. I won't show you the environment file because the environment file has secrets in it. So, but that's where you would store your secrets, is in your environment file. So we've loaded that in. In our Discord module, we've actually loaded in discord.js, which is the Discord JavaScript or Node.js module for using Discord or connecting to Discord. We're using glob and path modules, which are part of Node.js. We're using the glob and path modules for actually determining loading in our files. I'm actually not using them right now. I was using them to load in our command modules, but I'm not at the moment. Twitch, we're using the tmi.js, which is Twitch's Twitch messaging interface, which is how you communicate with the Twitch chat. And then we've got globpath and nmap. We're not yet using nmap, so we're going to get to that later. And yeah, so there we go. There's our bot. So what we really want to do, what the goal to do tonight, is to get a clean bot uploaded to our repository. Now we do have some issues with JS, and this is with our node scripts, and this is mostly some linting problems. So this is also a good thing to talk about, is using a linter like JSHint or ESLinter. I think part of our problems here is that JSHint, we need to put in that we're using a specific version of ES. So we'll do that in these files later on when we come back to fix these problems. But these are mostly linter issues. There are a couple of things I need to fix, which I'm using the arrow. Okay, that's arrow syntax. I'm missing a semicolon, so that's a nice one to fix right there. Pretty easy to fix. So most of these are linting issues because I'm not specified that I'm using ES6 compatible methods, which I just have to tell the linter that that's what we're using. So it's a simple fix. I'll show you how to do that in code in a later video. But that's one thing to always do, especially if you're learning a new language, is install a linter. Use a nice IDE and install a linter, because unless you have a good linter, you're not going to know what problems you might have, and it can actually catch problems for you before you try and run your software. So it's a good thing to have. Again, if you're on Facebook, please come join us in Twitch. We're having fun over here. If you're on YouTube, come join us in Twitch. It's up to you. I think did I lose some people? People lost from the stream? Either way. All right. So we're going to continue on. We're going to push through. Let's go ahead and talk about some code management. How is the audio, by the way? If you guys can let me know how the audio sounds, I can do some tweaking to try and fix it, but I will get the other microphone working during the break. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and unplug it to see if I can get it to reset. But yeah, if you audio issues, if it's not good, let me know. We'll see what we can do to address it. So we've got our project. We're good to go here. We've got everything running. So our bot is running right now. If you run the dice command, you'll get dice. If you run social, you'll get social feeds. So that piece is working the way we expect it to. Oh shoot, that just screwed everything. Let's fix that. Okay, there we go. So everything is working the way we want it to. So we have our code. What we don't want is for when we don't want to have our code disappear on us or have problems. We want to make sure that we preserve it. And the best way to do that, oh geez, keep messing this up, don't I? The best way to do that is to put your code into a linting software. Or not a linting software, a repository. So you want to store your code in a repository somewhere so that you can have version history, have tracking,
have the ability to maintain and manage your code. That way you don't lose context. You don't lose any data. You don't have any problems with your code not having good version history. If someone makes a change or you make a change and you broke things, it's always a good way of going back, of reverting, and being able to figure out what's wrong. And it's just good practice so that you can share your code with others. You can contribute, let other people contribute with you, and then that way you can have some good code management. So we're going to work on that. So I'm going to go ahead and get GitHub opened. We'll switch over to GitHub so you guys can see it. Oh, wrong window. Let's fix that. That is Firefox properties. Seeing Slack at the moment, but we're going to fix that. We're going to put you on GitHub. Here we go. All right, so this is GitHub. We are logged into my GitHub account. So we're going to go ahead and create a new repository. We're going to create this under my profile. If you were part of a team, you could actually create it as part of that team. But I'm not part of a team. I'm just part of me. So I'm just going to create it here. We're going to name it rm-bot. Let's see. rm-.fr, Twitch, and Discord bot. And just so people will see it, they can go to fr/discord, hps.tv/Billy J. Bryant. Yeah, cool. So this is our bot. We're going to set this up. We don't want to initialize the repository. So when you're setting up a repository, if you're starting out fresh, and this is probably the better thing to do before you start coding, actually, is you initialize the repository with a README. You can add a gitignore template by default, so you can actually come through here and choose what kind of gitignore you want. So in our case, we would have gone to Node, and it'll create a gitignore for Node, and you can add a license. I usually choose the MIT license. If you want to figure out licensing, you can go here and figure out what kind of license you want. So if you're going to do a community license, you can use MIT, Apache, GNU GPL3. Those are the things that you can use. In fact, I'll switch mine to the GNU GPL3. Just because that's just general purpose. But licensing, choosealicense.com is a good way of going through here and figuring out what license you need, and it links directly from GitHub. So if you ever have a question about what license you should use, because there are a bunch of them, then you can go to choose a license and it tells you what you can do. So if you're wanting to work on a community, then you choose a community-based license. If you want a least permissive and lets people do pretty much anything they want, distributing, then you use the MIT license. If you want to share improvements, you use the GNU GPL3. So this is what I'm going to do. This actually prohibits other people from distributing it as a closed source. For my own internal things, I usually just use the MIT license, but I never share those repositories with anyone else anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then if you wanted to come over here and you actually want to have a closed source, or not closed source, but more restrictive controls, you can use like the Apache license or the ISC license. So there's a lot of different choices. Licensing is important if you plan to have an open source project. I can't stress that enough. If you're going to do open source, make sure, let's try this out. If you're going to do open source, make sure you watch your licensing because it can protect you in the long run. There we go. How's that, C-Dido? You asked for that before, so. Yeah, so open source, your licensing is critical. If you're going to share your code and you want other people to contribute to it, if you don't want people to steal your code, you want to have the right license so that you can protect your code in the instance that you find someone else using it in a way that you don't want. Open source is great, and it's a good way for other people to contribute. It's a good way for your code to grow. It's a good way for you to work within the community. But if you care about maintaining the sanctity of the code and other people not stealing the work that you've worked on and selling it as their own, then you definitely want to make sure that you have the right license in place. Don't publish an open source repository without a license. Don't do it. All right, cool. Enough of the rant. Let's go ahead and continue creating it. So we're going to create our repository. We're going to see that when we start, we have a base repository. So we have a git ignore. We can come in here, and this actually has a lot more stuff in it. So I am actually going to probably just go ahead and pull this entire git ignore and add it into our ignore, or into our git ignore file. So let's go ahead and edit this. Copy that information. We're going to switch back to VS Code. So let's go ahead and switch to VS Code. Let's pull up our git ignore. So we had a very basic git ignore before. We're just going to go ahead and blow it out and replace it with the one that Git created for us. So it's got a lot of things in here that will block from being published to our Git repository. That's a good thing. Close that out. We're going to come over here and we're going to grab our license from GitHub. So our GitHub's created our license for us. We hadn't done that before, so we want to create this license here. So we are going to edit this, copy all of this information. Oh, we don't want to close. Oh, wait, bitch. Forgot about that. My bad. So we're going to go back over to VS Code. And we are going to create a license file. So let's go ahead and create our new file called license. Paste that in. The one cool thing about VS Code is that once the license file becomes tracked, VS Code can actually look at the license and tell you what kind of license you're using. I think there might be an extension for it. If there is, let me see. Extension for license. I believe there's a license injector. There's also license snippets. There's a couple of different things that you can do if you want to create your license ahead of time. So these are good plugins to use in VS Code to add licensing in, but VS Code will also recognize your license and can give you information about it in your repository. So that's a good thing too. Useful if you fork other people's repositories and you want to see what the license allows you to do, because some licenses allow you to redistribute forked code in open source projects. Some licenses will allow you to redistribute it in closed source projects with attributions. Some licenses won't allow you to redistribute it at all. So yeah, make sure you get that taken care of. We are going to also go back to our package.json because our package has us going to GitLab. So we're going to change this to GitHub in a couple of places here. And I think we labeled our everything as the right repository. So let's switch back to back to our repository. Yeah, rm-bot. So we're good there. So what we're going to do is we want to initialize this as a Git repository. And I think I might have done that before, so I might actually have to fix that. We initialized this to, let's do a git remote. All right, so where are we tracking to? So we're not tracking. Awesome. So we're not tracking to anything yet, which is great. What we want to do is git init period. So we reinitialize it as a Git repository. We want to go ahead and pull our repo information here. I might have to add my SSH key. It's been a while since I've used this repository. So git we want to git add. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and just git add everything because we want to add all of our files. So git add. Now I will go ahead and tell you now that I'm going to use a command that I normally tell people is a bad command to use. I am going to use the git add command, and I'm going to use it with a period. So git add period literally adds everything in the repository, in the directory that you're in at least, to the repository or to the commit. You don't want to do this in a production environment. The reason why I say this is because git add adds everything. So there might be files that were created that you don't necessarily want added. Like if you were doing a debug and your debug creates a bunch of debug files that might not be caught by the repository or by the gitignore, then you don't necessarily want those added. You want to be able to control what you add. So if you go to git add, if you have tracking, then git add will know which files you've created. In fact, we have. So git add knows that these files were created and haven't been added. So you can use tab to autocomplete things. So we can do lib, and it knows that we've created the APIs folder. It knows we've created the Discord APIs. The autocomplete will actually autocomplete the files that Git does not have in the commit history for this commit that are either new or changed. So it's a good way of adding things to your commit and knowing what you add. So in this case, we do git add lib, git add data, git add config, git add, and you can do more than one file, or you can do more than one file or more than one folder at a time. So if we do that, then we can do git status, and we can see that all of this has been added now. These are the only things that haven't. So we can go through and manually control what we're adding to our repository. This way we're not adding things that we don't want to add. And our package lock is not in our gitignore for some reason. So we're going to go ahead and fix that as well. We're also going to keep the VS Code folder from being uploaded. And we're going to upload the gitignore, which we did. And we're going to upload the editor config. Editor config is actually for, this is for VS Code. I like uploading it because that keeps everybody else on the same configuration as you. So that other people don't cause problems with indent styles. They don't change, truly trailing white spaces, things like that. If they're using VS Code or another editor that actually honors the editor config file, then their editing environment will be set up the exact same way that yours is. So it's a good thing to go ahead and add that into the repository as well. Let's go ahead and update our gitignore to add the VS Code folder because we don't want VS Code being stored. We also don't want our package. I'm not sure why package lock wasn't added to the repository, to the block. So let's go ahead and just fix those things. VS Code. So we don't want VS Code folder. And no package lock. We don't want the dot or the package -lock.json. So save those, and now you can see that VS Code has now removed the package lock.json and the VS Code folder from the repository from the tracking. And if we do git status, they no longer show up as being files that have not been committed. So git add.gitignore again. There we go. So we have our base commit. So we are ready. So we've tracked all of our files. We want to create our commit, right? Let's do this. So git remote-l, git remote dash. I don't remember this command. What is the list command? We're not tracking a remote. Good. So we're actually going to run into an error when I go to push, and you'll see that. So let's do a git commit. Now you can use git commit and it'll open up your editor for you so that you can type in your commit message. I prefer to use the -m flag, which lets me put in my message here. So we're going to do rm-bot initial commit. So this is our initial commit that's opening up our Discord bot. Discord and Twitch bot initial commit. And you can use -m multiple times, so you can use it as many times as you want to add additional lines to your config. You can also, in some environments, use \n. I just prefer to use -m multiple times. And I'm going to use -m here to create a blank line, and then -m again to create an additional line. This is the Discord and Twitch bot for we're going to type in our just a little notice here, rm-.fr/discord. Cool. So we have our commit message. We're going to hit enter. So that's going to create our commit. So we now have a commit that includes this. So if we do a git log, you're going to see our commit. So we have our first line of our commit. We have our commit details. I could have added more details. I probably should have written in Node.js, that kind of thing. You usually want your commit details to kind of detail what you changed, because it's important to know what changes you have in your commit. In this case, it's our initial commit, so we don't really care about that as much. So we've got our git log. Now we're going to try and do a git push, and you're going to notice an error. So we're not tracking a remote repository, so we need to add a repository. Now this is the backwards way of doing things. So in a normal instance, you'd probably want to create your repository first. Then you do a git pull or git clone that repository down, and then you start writing your code. That way you already have a repository, you can commit to it whenever you want. In our case, we started writing our code first, then we created our repository, and now we're pushing our code into the repository. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go and get our repository link, which is right here. So we have clone with SSH, which we're using. We're going to grab that link using the handy clipboard here. We're going to go back to VS Code. We're going to do a git remote add origin, because this is our origin package. And then we're going to add that URL in for our git URL. And now if we do git remote, we should see our origin. You can, instead of origin, you could use source, anything you want. Your git remote is just your remote branch that you want to source against. So we're going to do a git push. So now we need to set our master branch. So we're going to actually push directly into master, which this, because it's our first push, we're going to push to master. Eventually, we're going to branch it off into a dev branch that we'll use some merging with. So we're going to do a git push set upstream origin master. So we want to say yes, we do authenticate. I don't have access rights. So I'm going to have to fix this. I'm going to have to go and actually add my SSH key. So I'm going to temporarily take you guys off. Give me a second here. We're just going to go to just chatting because I can't let you see my keys. If you're a hint, if you are going to be streaming your own content, if you're going to be doing code like this, do what you can to protect your credentials because you're streaming to live people. You don't know who's going to be watching. You don't want to assume that they're not going to compromise you. That you're not going to get compromised. Because you trust your stream. I trust the people that are in the channel now, but I don't want to chance it. You don't want to chance it if you don't have to. So always do what you can to protect your credentials anytime you're dealing with any kind of code. So what I want to do is I've built in my I have sorry, I have pulled up my GitHub page, which you can't see right now. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm not going to actually show you my key, but I'm going to do an SSH keygen. So what you'd want to do is, if you want to use SSH for authentication for GitHub, which you do, trust me, you definitely want to use SSH. All right, now that that's done, so we're going to do an SSH keygen. I choose to do a 4096. 4096 takes a little bit longer to generate. 4096 also takes a little bit longer to decrypt, but it's the stronger of the security methods right now. So I choose a 4096-bit key. So we're going to generate an SSH key. We're going to tell it it's a type of RSA, and it's going to usually give us a default. I don't want to put it in ID RSA. What I want to do is home. We're going to put it in my home.ssh ID GitHub, because I'm going to use this key specifically for GitHub. And then we're going to save that. Key phrases are personal. I am using, actually, sorry, I just now saw your question, Guy Next Door. I am using the Logitech C920S. Bought it off of Amazon for an exorbitantly high amount because cameras right now are stupid expensive. But it's the C920S. I really like it. The close-up is actually pretty good quality, if you want to be honest, because that's 1080p stretched. There. So yeah, it's a C920S. Good camera. It's laggy. Okay. It is possible that it's a Linux issue. I went back and watched a couple of streams and I didn't really see the lag per se, but I might need to watch it a little more closely because actually now that I'm looking at my other monitor, I can see it a little bit, but yeah, I'll try and see if I can't work that out a little bit. It is possible it's a Linux issue. It's also going through a USB switch that I use to connect all of my USB devices from my desktop to my laptop. So it's possible that switch is in causing some delay. So I'll do some debugging on that between streams. Going back to our keygen is our chat's not working for some reason. Not sure why. All right, we're gonna close that out. I need to pull the actual chat back up because our GitHub chat in window isn't working the way it's supposed to. Let's go ahead and pull. Here we go. It is not FireWire. I don't have a FireWire camera. FireWire cameras, Jesus Christ. No, so we're going to go back here. We have our keygen. I was talking about passphrase. So passphrase can be whatever you want. It's up to you to use a passphrase or not. If you're going to be sharing your key and moving it from system to system, which isn't generally recommended, you definitely want a passphrase. It's basically a passphrase is just, it's going to ask you for a password or a passphrase when you try and use this key, and it's so that you can unlock the key. In my case, in this particular instance, I'm going to choose to not use a passphrase. Again, it's completely up to you, and it's dependent on where you're using your SSH key. So here we go. So we've created our key. We have our fingerprint for our key. Actually, yeah, so I just showed you my fingerprint. Oh well. It doesn't give you the entire key, so that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this key and put it into VS Code or put it into GitHub. So I'm going to just show you a terminal screen for now. That'll work. Here, we'll pull this up and we'll do clear EOFetch. There you go. You can see the system that I'm working on. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and grab our key. So I have my private key that I'm loading here, and I will show you where I'm doing this, but I'm not going to show you what I'm actually doing, just so that We don't have any problems there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to SSH keys in GitHub. So I got to that by going to my settings, going to personal settings, SSH and GPG keys. And then we can go here and click new SSH key, type in our key, and then paste it in. So in this case, we want to use Thor as the name of my streaming box, VS Code key, and then I'm going to take you back to the terminal for a second so that I can paste my key in, add it, confirm my password. Key is invalid. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and grab that key again, because for some reason it doesn't like it. Alright, figure that out. Alright, so now if we come back here, so we have our new key created. It was added on the 13th and it's never been used. So we can see that key is there, and now we can actually be able to commit to our project. So let's go ahead and go back to VS Code. Oh, shoot, I just did the one thing I said you weren't supposed to do. Let's clear the screen. There we go. Now we can go to VS Code. And we should be able to do a git push. Here's the other thing. We want to change our config here. vi home / sh.config. .sh. There we go. So we've created an sh config, which I didn't have before, I guess. What we want to do is enforce GitHub to use the right SSH file. So we want to come over here. I'm going to do a quick search just to show you how to do this. Use specific key for GitHub SSH. There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Medium has a good source. GitHub also has a gist that someone's created apparently. So this is how you can create your key. You can add it to your keychain. And then you can set it up to use your right thing. So actually, that's probably what we're going to do. We're going to add it to our keychain. So we're just going to do that. Because then we'll just use any of our keys. And then you come here and you actually tell in your git config, you tell your config which key to use. So we're just going to do this. We're going to come over here. We're not going to keep his information, but we are going to keep this information. So we're going to create our new GitHub. We're going to create that. We're going to name it. So it's going to be host github.com. Billy J. Bryant. That's a good way to do it, I guess. Host name, github.com. User is git. Oh, not showing you GitHub. And then we want to use our identity file. We want to point our identity file at the file that we created. So we're going to do ID underscore GitHub underscore RSA. And we're going to do a SSH add, because we're going to add this to our SSH string. All right, so we've added that to our identity file. So now we should be able to git push, set upstream master. All right, now the next thing that we can see is that our git push was ignored because we're not at the same commit level as our repository. So what we can do is we can do one of two things. We can do a git pull rebase, which is just done by git pull -- rebase. This will pull the remote repository into our local repository and rebase our code on top of it. Or we can just do a git push force to force the code into the repository. What I want to do is, because our repository actually already has a base level commit, so if we go back to our repo, if we go in here to our code, we can look at the history. We can see this says initial commit, so it's just our base initial commit. I just want to overwrite this. I don't care about this commit. It doesn't have anything of importance. So I'm just going to do a git push or dash force. So git push dash force, git push, set upstream origin master. And we want to do that git push dash force. So we have forcefully pushed up. Oh, it actually protected me. So that was the other thing I didn't show you guys how to do, was set up our email addresses in our system, in our Git. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and set that up. So git config. There's a couple of ways that you can do this, and this other website I was going to show that I was on actually shows you how to do this. You want to set up your identity, and you can set it up in different ways. So this is how you put in your username and your email address. So what I'm going to do is git config, and we're only going to do this for the local config. You can do it for global config. You can also do it for local per repository. I want to do it per repository, so I'm going to do user.name Billy J. Bryant. Git config user.email. Now I actually have in my Git repository some email addresses set up. So we're going to go over here. And I'm going to grab one of those emails because I have some emails that are in here that are private emails, I think. Okay, yeah, so we want to put in our regular email. All right, so we now set up our email address. So we're going to do a git push set upstream force. Interesting. All right, so it's not wanting to accept our email address. Let's try different. Git config user.email. Oh, okay. What we want to do is actually we need to amend our commit. So git commit. I forgot about that. So we have to amend our commit and go ahead and put in the information in our author field in our commit. So we want to come in here. I'm going to publish this other email address, which is my private email for my Git repository. And then we're going to exit that, save it. So now we're going to git push we're still running into a problem. What is going on here? So what I think we're going to have to do is do some debugging here, because I don't remember how to actually set this. Git commit update email or update author. I think there's a different command we have to do. I thought amend would do it. So we're going to learn together here on how to update the author. Git amend author equals, should have worked. So if we do a git log, the author didn't get changed. Okay. Git commit -- amend. We're going to do -author -author, sorry, equals Billy J. Bryant. Put in our email address here. Close that. Git log. Okay, so now our author has been updated, so now we can do our git push. This should work. And it did. All right, cool. So we have now pushed, sorry it took a while, we have now pushed our code from our years. Expect you to see years on my box. Yeah, this is a box I just recently reloaded. So I just reloaded the OS on it. And then I crashed something the other day playing around with settings. So the uptime is really low on it. So I had to reboot. But yeah, so this is a relatively newly reinstalled box. That's why the uptime is not very big. All right, so we've got our Git repository. We've got our code pushed. Let's go ahead and check that out. So let's go over to GitHub and figure out what's going on there. If we go back to our GitHub, we can see that we have our repository. This is our old commit. If we refresh, we now see our new information with our commit. So here's our package. Here's our library. We have all of our files that we expect to see. We have our library, we have our Twitch commands. If we go over to the main, we can click on our commits and we can see our commit history is very clean. We have one commit. Sorry. So we can see that we have our one commit. This is our one commit. This is our information for that one commit. This is our commit log. So if you come over here, you can actually see the contents of the commit. So go back to code, click on commits. If you click on the commit ID, you can either copy this commit ID, or you can click on the commit ID, or you can browse the repository at this commit point in time. So if you had multiple commits, you could actually browse and see what the repository looked like at that point in history. But in this case, we're going to click on commit ID, and you can see that we have 18 changed files with 1,277 additions and 0 deletions. So this is our new commit. We're building in all of our new files. Here's our git ignore. Here's our bot.js. Here's our license. It didn't load the diff for our license because it's a very big file. Very, very big file. But there's our license. There is our config.js. We've got some in-map stuff, so these are binary files, so they're not shown. These don't have anything in them. These don't have any content in them, so there's no changes. Here's our common. So we have our code in our code repository. So that's where we're at. We've been up here for an hour. We're just now getting our code into our repository. If you're just now joining us, my name is Billy. This is our 4th episode in the series of building our Node.js bot. And what we've just done is we have our bot built. We have our bot running right now. So if you're in the Twitch chat, if you're in Facebook, come join us on twitch.tv/BillyJBryant. But if you're in the Twitch chat, then you can run our commands for Twitch. You can run our social command, our Discord command, and it'll give you some information. And that's all running with the bots that we've built over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, we have our bot built. Our package file has changed somehow. Oh, our package has changed. We need to update our package. No, we don't have a README in our package, so we do need to fix that. And I'll probably build out just a generic README for now. So yeah, so we've built our bot. We've got our bot running, and now we just got our bot put into GitHub. And it's publicly available. So if you want to go and check the bot out, it's there. You can watch it. You can see what you want to do. So the bot is there. It's Billy J. Bryant /RM-bot in GitHub. If you want to check it out, play around with it on your own, or fork the code, it doesn't matter to me if you want to. Up to you. It's there. So that's our code is uploaded in GitHub. So this is where we're going to continue. So from now on, when we continue to work, and if I work in between sessions on the code and improving things, then this is where it's going to go, and you can go here and look at it and figure out, play around with it. So that's what we've got going on. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you. So we've got our code in our repository, and it's here. So we've got pull requests if you want to pull requests. You're welcome to go and watch it, star it, fork it if you want. If you want to help contribute to it, you can do that as well. This is the start of a brand new open source community project. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to try and see if I can't fix my other microphone and see what's going on there. But I will be back in just a minute or two. Yeah, so thanks for joining the stream. I will be back in just a minute. Testing, testing, testing. It looks like we have a microphone. So there we are. Microphone is fixed. I will be back in just a minute.
And the last time we were here, we were working on our bot. All right, cool. Yeah, so we are back. I am going to switch back over to the Just Cat chatting cam for a second here. So I have my audio working now. Please let me know if that sounds better. Hopefully it does. The headset mic is not that great. But my normal mic is, you can't really see it very well, but it's a Blue Yeti. It's an awesome microphone. Got it on a nice little stand. Got a pop filter for it. Got it set up so that I can talk to you. Yeah, so that's my normal mic. I hope it sounds great. Please let me know if it does not, because I definitely want to know if we have crappy audio. Again, if you are just tuning in, you are watching my stream where we're discussing building a Twitch bot in Node.js. We just got done getting our bot uploaded to GitHub. So we've worked the last couple of weeks on building out our bot and getting it so that it connects to Twitch, getting it so it connects to Discord. We needed to get it uploaded to GitHub so that we can track our code and make sure that we're accurately keeping our code and keeping a clean history. We're going to do some other work tonight on it, see if we can't build in some more functionality, what kind of functionality we can build in. One of the things that I think I want to build in is some admin functionality, just so that we have the ability to mute people or ban people or kick people. Not that I ever plan on using those, because I'm sure I'm going to have a great community that's going to join me. If you are new to the stream, please, this is only our 4th stream. So I'm trying to get my name out there, trying to grow the audience. Please share it with your friends. BillyJBryant.com is my website. You can go and check me out there if you want to. In fact, I'll pull it up in just a minute on the stream. But yeah, so right now we are going to go back into our camera system here, our VS Code. So here are our GitHub, sorry. We have our GitHub repository with our bot in it. And this is what we've just built. So if you want to go and check this out, you can go to github.com/BillyJBryant/rm-bot. And you can go and look at the code yourself. In fact, I think we'll write a command that will share that repository link. Let's do that. That'll be a good thing to do. As I promised, I'm also going to show you my website here. This is a website that I built in React. It's another form of JavaScript, so it's built on top of Node. So, and it's not wanting to load. There we go. Okay, so here's my website. This is built in React.js, which is built on top of Node. So this is actually a Node.js based website running in the React engine in the browser that you can scroll through here and see. So I have my information here, got my resume, skills, certifications, that kind of thing. And then at the top of this website are all of my links for my social. So you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on YouTube, LinkedIn, GitHub, and GitLab. So if you go to GitHub, you can now see, it's not pinned, so I need to pin that repository. But if you go into repositories, these are all the repositories that I have forked into my package. So let's go ahead and star this one. We're also going to pin that one. I think I can pin that one here. Either way, I'll figure that out later. Oh, here we go. Here I can pin. I'll pin RM-bot. We'll take off a couple of these other ones. Yay! There we go. And we'll pin RM-bot. There we go. Cool. So this is my GitHub repository, or my GitHub environment. There's another thing I'm going to show you guys how to do too in a future stream. Is someone realized how to use GIST or GitHub Pages as your homepage. So you can actually build a very custom homepage for your GitHub account, which is really kind of cool. I don't know what contributed to the... Alright, I got a new badge. I don't really know how I got a new badge, but I got a new badge. Alright, cool. So yeah, there's GitHub. Let's go ahead and go back to our code. I'm going to build a new command. Let's build a new command together, guys. So let's go ahead and go to our code. We've got our code repository pulled up. We're going to go ahead and close out all these other windows. We don't care. I want to build a common command, so we're going to go to commands. Let's go ahead and build in a new command name. Now, eventually we'll want to fork these commands out to make them a little easier to set up and make them more configurable. But for now, we're just going to do this. Command name equals GitHub. And we're going to go to GitHub URL. And we're going to copy that there. And we're going to change this to github.com/BillyJBryant/rm-bot. You can contribute to the bot at, there we go. Let's save that. So we've got a new command now. This should work in both of our environments. So let's go ahead and stop the bot and start the bot back up. And now we should have a new command that's available in the bot called GitHub. So if you run !GitHub, we now have a working command. So we have you can go and get a quick link to go check out the GitHub repository. So if you don't already have it yet, if you haven't looked at it, just go and click that link. You can go and check it out. So the other thing that we wanted to do is I want to build a README. Now we just want to build a basic README. And there is actually a plugin for this in extensions here. Let's go to README. Node README. Let me see what this one does. Let's read about this one. Now, this is just to review documentation in the editor. That's actually a good thing to have, so we'll go ahead and install that one.
Following.
What we're going to do is package to README. This is it. I think it's package to README. I think that one's the one that does what I want. Maybe it's package to README. We might try that one. We're also going to try README pattern, maybe. Install the extensions, README easily. Let's do this one. Package README. All right, cool. So we're going to create a README. So let's see how we do the package to README here. How does this work? Control-P, create README. So let's just go to our code. Go to our package, Control-P, create. Oh, it's not there. Parses your package.json. Control-P. Create. Oh, nope. It's Control-Shift-P. Create. README. There we go. All right. All right, so we've got our README created. So it says, I think. I don't see a README here. I don't know that this particular one did anything. Create README. Successfully created README. Let's refresh. Let's see what VS Code doesn't do anything. Let's see if maybe file, open file. Let's see if it didn't create a README. I don't know where it thinks it. Interesting. Well, that's That's a very bad package. It created a file called ourbot/readme. So let's open that file and let's see what it did. Yeah, so this is kind of a bland readme. So let's just not do anything with that. Let's see how this other readme extension works. Readme pattern. This one looks like it might be, so how do you activate it? It doesn't really say. Looks like you just drop down an extension. This is our Git history. Maybe we'll try Control-Shift-P, readme. Readme generates readme. Here we go. We're going to do a bot. So that should have generated a readme file, and we have that readme file here. Wow, it's not in Markdown. This is some crappy stuff. Okay, so it gave us some image shields and things. And if we parse this, we can actually parse the Markdown. So Control-P, Markdown, open preview to the side. So this is our README that it created for us with some generic things in it. Sorry. So we have a very, very, very generic cookie cutter, but very thorough README here, actually. We definitely want to make some changes to it, but I kind of like some of the stuff. I don't know if I'll keep that logo. We'll probably try and find a different logo here. This is all definitely not the right things. So we're going to change the license here. We're going to use the GPL v3 license. We're going to change the repository information. So let's change this. This is control search. Change that to Billy J. Bryant /rm-bot. Cool. Platform. We're going to do Twitch. I don't know if there's a platform for Twitch in. Let's look at the IO image. You know, if you haven't used Shields, Shields.io is a really cool site that lets you create these little badges for things. So let's go check out Shields.io and see if there's actually a badge for Twitch as a platform. Let's take a look at that. Platform and version support. GitHub. Okay, so yeah, what we want to do is node. So we should be able to do node at latest. So we're just going to do node current. There's a couple of things that you can do here. Let's see chat. Discord here. Yeah, here we go. Here we can put our that's Discord. So we can come here and copy this. We can go back over to our package. And I think we're going to take the platform out. We're just going to replace this with Discord. We're going to put in the Discord badge. And we'll go get our Discord server ID, which I don't have off the top of my head. I probably should have it somewhere, because I don't actually remember how to find it. Yeah, so let's go and find our Discord server ID. So I don't remember how to find this, so we're going to do some digging together and find our Discord server ID. Discord server ID. Follow these steps to get your Discord server ID. We're going to use someone else's run through. Applications, create an application on Discord. This is our Poshbot, authorize your bot. Find your guild / server ID. Oh, actually, I have this already. I completely forgot because I had to have our Discord server ID to join our Discord. And I didn't bring you up to Facebook anyway, or to the browser anyway. So let's go ahead and open up our config. Let's collapse all of this because our Discord server ID is in our guild's config in our JSON dev. So let's go ahead and copy that. We'll go back over to our README here. And we're going to put our server ID there. It's saying invalid. We'll figure that out. Not a big deal. We want to go to HTTPS rm-fr/discord. Alright, so we've got our GitHub information in there. Status is active, license. We'll change this rm-bot. We've got our base code in here. This is a Discord and Twitch interactive bot written in Node.js. So yeah, so we have a basic README. We'll probably want to go in here and change a couple of things. So for the moment, we're gonna pull out a lot of this data. And yeah, this is gonna come out. All of this is gonna come out. So we'll pull out some of these instructions, prerequisites. This is kind of things that will come in and fill in later on. And then we'll bring this out here and we're going to type in all right. Sweet. So we have our general bot here, our general README. So we're going to save that. If we come over here to our code repository, we can see Git status. We have a couple of modified files and an untracked file. Now I'm going to show you a really cool thing about adding modified files. So when you do your Git commit, you can actually do your add at the same time as your Git commit. So you can do Git commit -a, which is for add, -m for your message. So we're going to do init or add in GitHub command and update package.json. All right. So what that's going to do is that's going to actually that's going to add in our files, so we can see that it tracked 2 files changed, 6 insertions. So if we do a git status, we can see that information, those 2 files that we changed, are no longer in our git status because we've gone ahead in one command, we've added those to our Git repository or to our commit. So if we do a git log, we now have 2 commits in our git log. And I think I also have my dag command. Git dag. No, I don't have my dag. We'll close out this README. And if we come over here, VS Code, we have our nice Git history, so we can actually see our Git history as well. And we can look at that, and we can see that it uploaded, or we've made changes to these two files. So awesome. So that's where we are. So now we want to add our README. So let's do a git add readme.md. Now you can't add files with git commit -a if they're not already in the repository's tracking. So you have to track the file before you can use git a to commit it. But once you've got a tracked file, if you just want to commit the changes that have been made, this is also another safe way to not commit files that you don't intend to commit. Is instead of using the git add command to add your commit files in, when you make changes to your files, those changes will be tracked, and you can use the git commit -a short command to just track the changes that you've made and not worry about untracked files. So you can't use that to add a file. So we're going to go ahead and use the git add command, readme. So now if you do git status, you can see we have a new file called readme. So we're going to do a git commit -m adding in readme.md or readme. There we go. And now if we do our git log, you can see that we have 3 git records. If we refresh our git history, we can see that we have 3 git commits. Now this is where you could actually start to play around with some things and get creative about your Git repository, Git history. So one of the things that you can do, and that I like to do, is squash commits. So when you do git commit, you can do git rebase -i, and this will bring up the rebase menu. Now I need to change my editor because I don't like this editor. I like Vim, so I need to change that default editor. But this is your git commit history. So this is actually what's going to be submitted when you do a git push or a git git PR to create a PR. What you can do here is there's a couple of things. You can squash the commit, which squashing the commit will meld the commit into the previous commit. So what that's going to do is if I use squash on this commit down here, it's going to create one single commit that will contain both of these commit lines. Or actually it'll contain the details of both commits in the commit, or in the actual commit message. You can also do fix up. Fix up is like squash, but it's going to discard this commit entirely. So what it's going to do is it's going to merge this commit in with the previous commit, but it's going to discard this git message. If you're fixing something, so like say you committed something and then you realize that you had a typo and you need to fix that typo, then you could just do git fix up. You make your change, save it, add it, do a new commit, and then do git fix up to just drop that commit's log so that you just bounced it into your previous commit. I use this a lot on my daily work. We use it a lot of my work. Git fix up is an amazing way to rebase and squash your commits down into one if you're just making changes to fix the original commit. If you're adding new files, or if the changes you're making in your second commit don't have anything to do with the changes you did in your first commit, you might want to leave your commit history and have 2 commits. If you want to squash them up into one, then you can do this. You can replace this pick. So pick is just going to use the commit as is. R or reword is going to let you reword and edit the commit message. Edit will let you edit the commit, but it'll stop it so that you can amend it. Break will stop and it won't do anything else. Drop will drop the commit. And label and merge, those will do other things. So we're going to change this to an S for squash. So what this is going to do is resulting, we're going to have 1 commit left, and that 1 commit will have both of these commit messages in it. So let's go ahead and do that. Save, write. So now we can see that we have our commit message. So we have the original commit message from our first commit, and then we have our commit message from our second commit. And we could go here and edit this if we wanted to, but we're not going to. We're just going to leave it as is. We're going to exit, and we've saved. And now if we refresh, we now have one commit again. And you can see add in GitHub commands and adding in README. Alrighty. So now we have our commit. Let's go ahead and push it, right? So we could do a git push. We could also do a git PR. Is it PR? Git pull dash request, I think. Oh, shoot. This is if we can't do the git pull request from the command line. I forgot I had a alias for that in another environment. So if you were going to do a separate repository or a separate branch, you could create a pull request. So what we can do now is, now that we're in our master branch, we have our git commit here, we have our commit, and since we haven't pushed it to our repository yet, we can branch into a different branch. So we're going to do a git branch or git checkout -b, and we're going to do dev. So we're just going to create a dev branch. So git checkout -b checks out a new branch with the name that you provide. So we're going to do a git dev. So as you can see by our command line here, we've changed to the dev branch. So if you see our git log, we have our git log. If you go back to our git history and refresh, you can see that we have two branches now. So we have dev, we have master. We can switch the branch, so we can switch to our master. And we want to do a git push. Now we're going to get an error because we don't have a remote branch to track. So we're going to track that remote branch, git push set-upstream origin dev. So what this is going to do is actually tell it that we want to push into a new branch on the origin, which is called dev. And now if we go back to VS Code, or if we go back to our repository, dev has had recent pushes, and we can compare and create a pull request. So we can see now that we have two branches. We have master and we have dev. And we can see that dev is one commit ahead of master. We can see that this is our latest commit history. So we can see we made a change here. We made a change here. So we can now go ahead and create a pull request. And this pull request is going to allow us to write our pull request so that other people can review our pull request and determine if we should merge this code in. In an open source project, this is how you're going to contribute to other people's code. Is you're going to fork the repository, make the changes in your own repository, push them to your repository, and then when you do, you can create a pull request against the master or the base repository so that you can contribute your code to the other to the main repo. You can also do this with branches, which is what we're doing here. So we've got compare our dev branch to our master branch. There are no merge commits, so it's telling us that we would be able to merge these automatically. So we can come in here, add in. We're going to bring this into our commit message, or our merged commit message. Add in GitHub command. We're going to add some details. So we want to actually put some data into this. Add in GitHub command. Command to display the GitHub repo in Discord and Twitch. Updated package.json. Updated the Git repo links in the package. And adding in README. And we're going to go ahead and create a pull request. Now this uses Markdown language, so you could get really, really super technical if you wanted to. So description, you could come in here and you could do change log if you wanted to. Testing, no testing needed. This is where you'd want to do all that kind of thing. So tested the GitHub command via via Twitch. There we go. And it uses Markdown, so you can use backticks for code, inline code. You could use triple backticks for actual code. We can preview this, so this is what our message is going to look like, our actual PR. And then we want to create our pull request. And we now have a pull request. So now what we can do is we can see that if this is a normal PR, you could actually go through here. If you were the owner, you can assign yourself. So I'm going to assign myself to this. You can convert it to a draft, and then if you convert it to a draft, it won't be available to merge until it's not a draft. You could add it to a milestone if you wanted to. Link other sources. And then if you're ready to merge this, let's say this code was good for your repo and you wanted to merge it, you could go here. So you can create a merge the pull request, and you can do this a couple of ways. You can create a merge commit, which all commits in the branch will be added via one single merge commit. Or via a merge commit, so that's going to bring all the commits over. You can do a squash and merge, which is going to squash all the commits into one. And then you can do a rebase and merge, which is going to rebase the branch if the remote branch is not to the same level as the target branch. So in our case, we're just going to do a create a merge commit. And we're going to merge the pull request. Confirm merge. Actually, no, we're going to squash and merge. There we go. And now we've merged. We don't want to delete our branch, but you have the option of deleting the branch. I want to use this branch eventually, so we're going to go back over here to our master, and we now have our README. Our chat's still not working for some reason. We have our issues. We have no pull requests open. So if we had opened our pull request, we actually would have seen it there. We were licensed. And we can go through here, check out some stuff. Here's our basic README file. So there's our README. So we've got that good to go. We've uploaded a README to our package. And we have our code repository pretty well organized and set up and done the way that we want it to be done. We've created 2 branches. Now, this is important. Branching off your config is very important because it lets you how did I miss that? Someone said something. Oh, okay. Status, Twitch status. Oh, hey, look at that. Nice. I didn't even see that one. Thank you, CDido. It gave me a badge for Twitch status. That worked out pretty well. We'll put that in there. But branching lets you control your code, so you can have a dev branch, you can have a master branch. You want your master branch to be clean. You want the commit history to be relatively clean and to be indicative of the changes that have been made and merged into master and into production, because master is intended to be your production branch. Your dev branch, you can have, whatever you want. And your dev branch doesn't necessarily have to be a clean branch, because you can always squash your commits when you merge them into master. So your dev branch can have 40 or 50 commits. And if you're merging them into one feature change, you can make a merged commit with a version number or something of that nature to merge all of those commits down into one, or squash all those commits down into one commit, so that you can store those in your repository as a single commit. You want to keep your master as clean as possible, because your master is where people learn how your project is working and learn what changes were made, without necessarily having to see all of your individual commits that you made for just storing individual changes. So enough on that. Let's go back to VS Code. Let's add in this little thing that he added that CDido gave us. He gave us a README badge for Twitch. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put that in there. We're going to do Twitch. And we're going to do this. And let's see what happens when we save that. And we'll do a preview of that. So let's do a preview of our Markdown to the side here. Yay! So we have Twitch live. Awesome. Really cool. That's a great little piece. Let's see if we can fix that Discord badge. What happened to our shield for Discord? I don't quite know. Let's go paste our Discord. Let's look at this here. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't generate our Discord link. So let's get our... where did we get that? That's in our config. Got our guild. Let's paste that in there. Oh, there we go. Style flat. We can change our style and everything. In fact, I like for the badge. Social is kind of crappy. Flat squares. I'm of a fan of for the badge. You can do a named logo, so you can do Discord. I think that works. Yeah, there we go. Override label, Discord. There we go. Copy the badge URL. Go in here and put this one in. And now if we go to our preview, there we go. And we'll change these other ones to the for the badge style as well. And we should also do and logo equals Twitch. And we'll go here. And the logo for GPLv3. Either way, cool. So now we have our new one. So we have our Discord 7 online. The Discord is very small. Twitch issues. We can also put in our code info, so we can go over here and go to, we don't want to do code coverage. We can put in our followers or forks or whatever, but not really caring about that per se. License, here's how we do all of our license. That's fine. NPM. Cool. Let's go ahead and pull in our build. Here we go. Nope, it's not our build. I'm forgetting where this is. I think it actually might be dependencies. Might actually be able to pull it out of the using libraries.io. So let's do Billy J. Bryant and rm-spot. We're not registered in libraries.io. We'll figure that one out later. There's a way to put in your code information in so that you can have your actual code tracking. So we'll figure that out later, and I'll get that added in so that you can see the dependencies on Node.js. But we have our README that's created. Sorry for still showing browser. Oh yeah, we're still in the browser. So yeah, so let's go back to our code repository. Get status, get ci-am, README. Let's see, updated README with Discord and Twitch badges. Oh, I'm not using CI. I haven't added that. Git commit. I'm still used to some of my aliases from work, so I haven't added that in here. So let's do git push. And then we can do a git merge if we wanted to. You can actually run a git merge and merge the development history with the production without doing a PR if you wanted to, or you can just go and do a traditional PR the way that we did before. In this case, we're just going to do a quick PR. So we should be able to go to our dev branch. Our dev branch is 2 commits ahead and 1 commit behind. So let's actually do a git pull -- rebase. Git push. And if we look at our README, there's our README. So we've got our README updated. So we have our Twitch badge, we have our Discord badge, we have our pull requests, our issues. So yeah, we're good to go. Got all of our badges. If we click this, it should take you to our Discord. Yay! If you click this, it should take you to our Twitch stream. No, that didn't work. Oh, it's because I have the link clicked to something different. Yeah, so I need to fix that. That's something to fix in dev. Look at there. Twitch, 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 Twitch. Here we go. Hey, Mike, how you doing? So yeah, Mike, if you're just joining us in, we are building a Twitch bot using Node.js. We just got our Twitch bot built. We're doing some code work now, or some repo work, just to make sure that our repo is clean and we have our bot added to our repo so that we can track our changes. Updated README, fixed Twitch link. There we go. And I'm still using a alias that I need to fix. Git push. Oh, I wasn't showing you my code repository. Sorry. So let's go back over here. So we've now pushed that code into our dev branch. And we have that here. So here's our dev branch. Our Twitch link should work now. And it does. It works as we expect it to. Let's go ahead and create a pull request. We have some merge problems because I don't have a clean commit history. So I'm going to have to fix that. So we are going to put in merging or updating the README. Badges in the README to fix Twitch and Discord. Create a pull request. There's some conflicts, so we want to resolve those conflicts. Obviously, we know there's some things that have been changed. That's fine. So what we want to do is take out the master and leave in the dev. Mark as resolved. Commit merge. Now we can merge, so let's squash and merge. Updating the README. And we're merged. So now if we go to our VS Code, git pull, git checkout -b, or git checkout master. We're gonna switch to our master, git pull. Oh, we got a merge conflict here. Let's just do a git reset hard origin master and git pull. There we go. So if you ever get yourself into an issue where you have a merge commit that's got some problems, your repo isn't clean, and you just need to reset back to base or back to the master repository, you can use git reset. --hard does a hard reset, which means that if you have any uncommitted changes whatsoever, whether they're untracked files or changes that you've made to other files, it's going to reset them. So git reset hard, origin is your remote, and then master is the repository you want to reset to, or the branch you want to reset to. So what this is going to do is this is resetting our local branch to make it exactly match the remote branch as it is today. So you also would probably want to do a git fetch before you do that. So git fetch all will fetch all of your branches, and then you can do that git reset master or origin master. And this is going to reset you to where you were before. So what we can do is just to show you how that works is I can go in here and I can delete, let's delete all of our badges. So our badges are gone. Boom. Done. Badges are gone. We have a modified file here. You can see that we have a modified file. If we preview this, we can open the preview. We can see that our badges are not there anymore. So if we go and do a git reset, let's say we accidentally deleted that and now we need that information back. We can just do a git reset and boom, there it is. We're back to the way we were. Status quo is fine and we're good to go. So git reset's a nice command when you want to clean up your repository. If you made changes that you don't want to keep, or you want to get your branch back to status quo of what it should be before you pull in anything new. This is especially good if you're on a fast moving package. So if you're contributing to a package that's really quickly moving, getting a lot of commits written into it, especially this happens during dev work, when you're developing a new code, a new app. If you have a large team working on a new app and you're all developing at the same time, you may have a really fast moving package. It's a really good way to get your branch to whatever the current latest is so that you can rebase your work on top of that code. So git reset hard origin master, really good way to get yourself out of some sticky situations that you might find yourself in and unmuck some problems that you might see. Git is an interesting little beast, and it's very nice system to have because it tracks your changes. It's also, if you're not using it correctly, it's a good way to cause problems for other people. So there's some commands that you can use that will fix a lot of those things and help you kind of unmuck, and Git reset is one of those. You can also Git reset soft. What Git reset soft will do is it will reset you to the right commit, and it will bring those commits changes in. But if you have made changes to a file, it will not overwrite that file. So it'll bring in the changes that have been made into that file, but it won't overwrite that file. So Git reset soft is another good one that you can use. You can also do a Git reset hard, and you can specify that you want to reset to the head, or you can specify, like if I wanted to, let's see our Git log. Let's see our commit history. We go in here and we see that we have, you know, this commit history here. I can copy this hash to my clipboard, which should have copied it. All right, so my paste is not working for some reason. Yeah, so there's our Git hash. So we can do a Git reset hard, and we can reset to that particular. So you can see now our README has been completely deleted. So our Git reset, Git reset is gone. Our README is completely gone because we're now back at our base repository. So what we want to do is Git reset hard head. This is going to put us. Actually, we can see if we do our Git history and refresh, we're completely screwed because we have no Git history. We reset hard back to our base. So we're dead. Like right now, we have nothing. We have no idea what's going on ahead of us. If we do a Git pull, we're going to pull everything it was done in. So we're going to refresh, and we've got our history back. But we've got those changes there. So the question in the chat was C-Dido asked, can you stash and then reset? Yes, you can. So I can show you that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's make a change. We're going to go ahead and let's say that we want to, in our common, we're going to create a new command. Let's create a new command called, because I don't have one yet, Twitter. Twitter URL. Let's go to twitter.com/Billy J. Bryant. Catch all the latest tweets and updates. There we go. So we've added a new command in. So we're going to do a git commit, we've got our command, our changes here. So we git status. We can see that we've got our modified file. I'm trying to point to it. You can't see me pointing on screen, but you can see that we've got our modified file here. So we're going to do git add lib commands common. Now the question here was, can you do a git stash and then a git reset? Yes, you can. And this is very beneficial. If you don't know what a git stash is, git stash stashes changes you've made so that you can pop them in later and use them at a later time. It's very helpful if you have a very mucked up repository, you want to fix it. You can stash your changes, reset, and then pop your changes in. And that's actually a very useful command or use of stash. So what we would do here is, let's say we realized when we tried to do a git pull that we had a merge conflict. And we wanted, because we were maybe we didn't rebase before we started making our changes, and we're really rebased to hell and back. You have a crazy merge history. So it's going to cause you a lot of pain to try and work through all those merge conflicts. you could do a git stash. So now we've saved our working directory. We can do a git reset, hard, origin, master. Now we've reset to the master. Do our git pull to pull in our changes from master. So we're up to date. And now we can do a git stash pop. And this is going to bring in the changes that we just made into our newly reset branch. So we've reset, we stashed our changes, or we made our changes, we added our changes to our commit. We realized that we couldn't do anything because we were really, really bad out of base or out of track with the original repository. So we want to reset to the original repository just to start clean. So we did a git reset, and then we did a stash pop and popped our changes back in. So now we can do a git ci-am, added the new Twitter command. I am going to keep doing that. I need to create that alias before I get done. So there we go. Let's actually do that. Get alias. Let's use the get alias command. Oh, the get alias is not added. What is that? Get. It's in the git config. I used to have a command called alias that would let me add the aliases in. So that's another alias I don't have. I'll look that up. We'll figure that out. I don't exactly remember the syntax for get alias. If anybody knows it off the top of your head, it'd be great to know. Let me know. I would love it. So we've got the repository updated. We did our pop. We did our stash. We stored everything into our repository. So if we go into our history, we can see Git does have its own aliasing system, so that you can actually have aliases in Git. So we can see we have added our new Twitch command or Twitter command to our Git history. Nice. So we're good to go. Let's go ahead and git push. And we've pushed that directly into master. And we're good to go. So now that new command is in. So let's go ahead and go over to Node. We're going to close this command and we're going to start our bot again. And our Twitter command should be there. We know that adding commands works though. So yeah, so there we go. So now let's I'll go ahead and show you how to do the alias if you want, since it seems there's interest in that. So Git does support aliases. And there's a lot of aliases that you can find online to do basic things. If you go to Git here, you can do aliases. Yeah, that's right. Git config. I used to have an alias that was basically adding an alias, and it was called Git alias. So it made it really easy to add new aliases. And Git CI is a common one that people use. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to copy these out. We're going to change the... Go to the new file. Let's get rid of this leading... There we go. Just take those, and let's go ahead and add those into our aliases. For some reason, Control-Shift-V is not working. I don't know why. Now we can do Git CI, and it's alias to commit the way I expect it to be. Git branch or BR is alias to branch. Git ST is alias to status. I used to have a DAG alias, and I don't know. Last is also a good one. Git reset is also. You can do Git unstage, which is a good one, but I like last, so we'll pop that one in. And what this one do is get last. Will actually just show you the last commit. There's one that I need to see if I can find, because I used to have it. Get dag alias. So there's a couple of different ways of doing this. A dog. Oh, okay. I think this is the actual base of the command that I used to use, that I called get dag. It is. So this actually will show you your branch, and it shows it to you nicely printed and formatted in and I didn't show you that website I was on. This is a website I was just searching, but this is your get dag command. I used to have an alias to get dag at least. So let's go to get config dag, and then we'll paste in this. And now if we do get dag, there we go. We got a nice little log of our history. So yeah, Git has its own built-in aliasing system. You can have global aliases. So if you want to have an alias that exists across your entire system, you have a global alias. If you want to have a alias specific to your package, you can have a package alias in your package itself. So if you had a specific thing that you were doing a lot with a specific repo or package, you could do an alias just for that, and that would just be done by doing just get config without the -- global. So get config alias here. So yeah, Git has its own aliasing system, which is really nice, because now I can just do get CI and I don't have to worry about getting that error message again about a weird alias. So yeah, there we go. So let's recap a little bit. So what have we got so far? We have our bot running, which is great. It's in Twitch right now. It's in Discord right now. If you want to, I can show you Discord. Yeah, let's pull up Discord. Turn off all the other ones. Let's go back to the camera. There we go. So let's get out Discord. So this is our Discord server. We can pull this up, and let me pull it over here. You can see Discord. I think I can make it a little bigger, maybe not. But this is our Discord. We do have a stream chat channel in our Discord, which is set up, where is it here? Stream chat. So anything said in stream chat will actually be shared on the stream itself when I'm in the BRB mode. So if I go into BRB and we do Twitter, so you can see our stream chat from Discord on the BRB screen. So that's right there. We're good to go there. And you can see so that's there. If we go back to 4x3, 4x3 cam only has our regular cam setup, only has the traditional Twitter chat or Twitch chat. It's only the BRB and the status pages that have the Discord chat, but we have our Discord here with our chat. Our bot is working there. We have greet, so I can greet Frosty. And we're going to greet Frosty to the stream chat. So come check us out in Discord if you want to. It's rm-fr/Discord. rm-.fr/Discord. But there's our Discord. We'll go back to VS Code. So we have our bot. We have our bot running. Here we can see our bot. This was actually our bot parsing a Discord message that we sent. And so our bot is working in both Discord and Twitch. It's taking the same commands from both Discord or Twitch, so you can run those commands in either environment, and that's the way that we want it built. And then it's allowing you to share, or it's allowing us to connect those two environments together. I think my eventual goal is I want to have the bot set up so that if you chat in Twitch, it gets copied to the stream chat and channel in Discord, and vice versa. If you chat in the stream chat channel in Discord, it gets copied to the channel in Twitch. So maybe that's what we're going to work on next week. So I'm going to do some research in our off time, and we'll see if we can't figure that out for our next stream, is figuring out how to get Twitch and Discord connected so that you can be in one and chat in both. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do. I've not seen a lot of streamers do that. So that kind of is exciting to me, at least. That's one of the goals that I had. I don't know how feasible it's going to be. So it's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind for us. So I'm going to prep a little bit for that one. I don't usually prep for my stream, and here's why. I like to run into problems during the stream because I like to show you how to debug. Because debugging is part of programming, and if you don't know how to debug, you don't know how to really accurately program. So I like to debug, and I like to show you guys how to do that, what my workflow is when I do that. Because to me, it's I'm not helping if I'm not showing you things that you're going to run into in the wild. So if you've never programmed before, if you've never coded before, and you're wanting to try and get into it, I want to show you how to handle errors that you might come across. So that's why I don't usually prep a lot for my stream. I will run into problems live, and I will debug those and solve those live with you, and we'll work on those things together and fix those problems as we work. As I told you before, I got a nice new little setup here if you want to see. So I have my phone set up to control the stream. So here, if I just press this 4x3 button, we switched over to our 4x3 cam. If I press the just chat button, we switch back to our chat cam. So this works really, really well. I love it. This is also how I can control switching back and forth between VS Code and Facebook. It's also how I can do the close-up cam. Ooh, close-up. Yeah, so some cool things that I did there. I got that set up. It also allows me to clear chat, set up markers. So this is kind of cool that I set up for this. If you want to know how to do something like this, it's really cool. I got some little icons there. It's got some little RGB going. It's kind of like a makeshift stream deck. It's not really a stream deck. It's called Deckboard, and I'm running it kind of hacky on Linux, which there's no Stream Deck support really for Linux. There's a Python module that works, but you have to have an actual Stream Deck, and I'm too poor to afford a Stream Deck, sorry. I'm not shelling out $200 for a Stream Deck right now. This works just fine for me. Probably would work for just fine for just about everybody. Yeah. So I think that's where we're going to end this week. So we've made some accomplishments. We've been on the air for 2.5 hours almost, streaming for 2.5 hours. C. Diodo, thank you for joining us. All the people that joined us in the chat, Mike, if you're still here with us, we've had a good conversation. We've had some good work. And I think next week, like I said, what I want to do is prepare to set it up so that we can get our Twitch bot and our Twitch and Discord bot communicating and sharing chat communications between Discord and Twitch. That way you guys can have a little bit more connected environment for everybody. So that's where we're at. Please, if you would, please, for me, share this stream. If you like what you're seeing, share it. Let your friends know. Tell people about it. I am on Twitter, twitter.com/BillyJBryant. Or you can run the Twitter command and chat. I will always tweet before I go live and when I go live. So there's two chances there. And please share it. I really want to get some extra followers. We are up, I think, my follower count. Let's go ahead and check out the follower count. Stream Elements. I think I can see our total follower count. We've had 8 new followers this month. I think that puts me at a total of 23 followers total, 21 followers. So I've got 21 followers. I really want to jump up from there, so share it out, please. I would really appreciate it if you like it. If you like watching me fumble through some programming, I think we're going to take a break from Node.js, maybe. I'll let you guys let me know what you think. Come join the Discord. You guys can kind of lead where we go. I do want to do some other projects on the horizon. Some of the projects that I want to do. I do want to do. I need to get some new hard drives for my NAS. I would like to use the NAS storage. I have a. You can't really see it. It's up on my shelf. But I have a Synology NAS that I want to use for storage for both the stream, for the raw recordings. But I also want to use it for storage for upcoming projects. One of those that I want to do is I want to build a Node.js, or not Node, sorry, a Kubernetes cluster with a Raspberry Pi. So I want to use a Pi R4 and build a 4 or 5 node Kubernetes cluster. And that's going to take some money. That's about $1,000. So it's going to be a while before I can get to that. So that's the ultimate goal. I do have, and I should probably share this out more often. I do have a tip jar if you want to check it out. I'm on Venmo and PayPal if you like to stream. If you want to support the stream, any money I get is going to go into buying things for projects to show on the stream to show you guys how to do stuff. I don't care if you donate or not. You don't have to. Right now we do have a goal set up of buying new hard drives. Because the 210 terabyte hard drives that I want are $400. So, but share the stream out, please. Shameless plug, not shameless. Please share the stream out. Let people know that you like it. Follow us on Twitter or Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. Go to YouTube and like and subscribe. I'm going to start getting the YouTube videos cleaned up so you can go back and watch on YouTube later. And all of that's going to be set up, and I think I'm going to go ahead. I've rambled on way too long now, so I'm going to go ahead and close out the night. Thank you guys for joining. I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea. Let's see who's online that I can raid, because I've got a few viewers. It's not a lot. Let's go ahead and join into Chatty and see if somebody's streaming right now. I don't see any of the normal people. That I would stream. Let's go to channels. Let's just go to Twitch really quick. Let's do that. So I'm gonna bring you back over here. Let's turn off that. Go to Twitch. Let's just go check out Twitch for a second. See who's online. Following. So got only Eggy. Let's see what Eggy's doing. We got an ad. Lovely ads. I'll just drop you onto Eggy. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead and go here, and we're going to /raid only Eggy. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys for joining. I'm going to raid Eggy for a second and drop you guys onto him. And hopefully that works. Catch you guys later.
Good, this is good. Yeah, right. 4 kills, look at that. What, decent? Fuck the gamble? Okay. Maggie, breaking my channel. Breaking my screen. I hit myself in the face. I probably broke my nose.
And it looks like the raid isn't happening there, so host.
Or anything, but percent your guys'
So we're just gonna host, switch over.
legit, right?